The Fairy of the Music Box. A wise person once said that fairies live in a parallel universe to ours. Their world is almost the same as ours, which is why, without us noticing, they are everywhere. In the kitchen, causing mischief like spilling the salt. By the plants in the living room, singing and talking to them so they don't wilt. Resting with us by our pillows, watching over our dreams, and making sure something wakes us up when we have nightmares. Fairies are here to help us and take care of our homes when we are away. Even though we can't see them because we are blind, they don't get angry. They only ask for love and for us to believe in them. Fairies can only be seen with the eyes of the heart. One day, a little girl was preparing her birthday cake with her grandmother, when suddenly, the sugar jar tipped over, spilling a little.
"Oh dear, here comes Glutton,"
said the grandmother.
Glutton? Who's Glutton, Grandma?
Asked the little girl.
"Glutton is one of the fairies in my house. There's also Mischief, who likes to spill the salt, and Clean, who helps me keep the kitchen tidy."
But Grandma, do fairies really exist?
"Of course, sweetie. They exist just as much as you or I do. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean they're not real. Can you see laughter, joy, or music?"
No.
The little girl said, her beautiful black eyes growing wider.
"But they exist, right?" "Well, so do fairies. They're everywhere. While we put the cake in the oven, I'll tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a fairy who lived in a music box. She was very happy there because the little girl who owned the box would open it every time she went to sleep. When this happened, the fairy was the happiest in the world because she could dance with the ballerina inside, listen to the beautiful melody, and most of all, watch how the sweet girl's eyes would slowly close as she fell asleep. And so, with this happiness, the days and years passed. But one day, the box didn't open. Not that night, not the next, nor the ones that followed. The fairy began to worry, then sadness took over, and then fear. Fairies don't like silence, they fear the dark. But what scares them most is being forgotten, because forgetfulness pushes love away, and fairies need love to live. Many nights passed, and the music box stayed closed. The fairy felt overwhelmed with sadness, thinking of the little girl's face and how her eyes would close slowly when sleep took over. But deep inside, in her tiny heart, there was something that kept her from giving up.
What was it, Grandma?
The little girl asked, wringing her hands with impatience.
"It was hope, my dear, hope."
And what happened, Grandma?
Well, one night, the box opened again, and the fairy saw a little girl's face. It wasn't the same, and her eyes weren't the same colour, but they were filled with dreams, just like always. And the fairy danced once again with the ballerina, listened to the beautiful melody, and became the happiest fairy in the world, watching over the sleep of another little girl.
The oven timer went off.
"See, Mischief Fairy is telling us the cake is ready. By the way, this reminds me something is missing. We've got the cake, but now we need your gift."
The little girl, excited, unwrapped a small box, and when she opened it, she couldn't believe her eyes. It was a music box with a ballerina inside.
Grandma, is the fairy inside? Will I be able to see her?
"I'm sure she's in there, waiting to hear the music so she can start dancing. And if you want to see her, you'll have to look with the eyes of your heart. And remember, fairies only ask that we love them and believe in them, and in return, they will always take care of us." Dear wise children, never stop believing in magic, because just like fairies, it truly exists.
And you know what they say? Story told, smile if you liked it.